Hello, my darlings. Hope you're all doing well. Blessed to be here. Welcome to this reading where we're going to be taking a look at the first impressions of you and your future spouse. This is one of the requested readings, and I always read my comments. So if you guys have any ideas or any requests for specific readings, whether it's tarot or wax, let me know down in the comments below. All right, let's go ahead and get started. As usual, we're going to do a little bit of an energy check-in just to make sure that you guys chose the right reading for yourselves. Good looking, passionate, quite possibly with a mix of nationalities, mix of race, mix of cultures that's coming through over here. I want to say that you guys are quite generous, not with everybody, but with quite a few people. Your future spouse is going to think that you are a gift from the universe over here. I do see that you guys enjoy good food. You might even be a foodie over here. You enjoy trying new things. You enjoy trying different sorts of cuisines. Sometimes when you're in the mood, you could cook something. Sometimes you could get some sort of takeout. But I see that you're open to the variety. Even though they're showing me very specifically that some of you might be allergic to something and you're really trying to navigate your way, when it comes to food. But there's something about food and beverage that's coming through over here. This could be a passion. This could be, your area of work. I want to say you have most likely, higher sex drive than a lot of people. There was a time in your life when you took a chance. You might have not had a lot of money or a lot of experience in something, and you went into the unknown. You took a chance, you took a risk, you followed your intuition, your calling. There are quite a few people over here, they're telling me that you thought were marriage material, but they weren't. You like things to be fair. It's so interesting. They're telling me that you're somebody who sometimes has to control yourself because you do have this wild, ambitious, and very feisty side to you. And sometimes you're like, okay, my mouth works faster than my brain. So you're really working on sometimes maybe not saying certain things in order not to get into trouble, But what they're showing me over here is that, wow, my darlings, honestly, I want to say very attractive, very magnetic, very charismatic. You have a lot of fantasies. But it seems that you tend to meet a lot of people that are only kind of after, this no strings attached sort of thing, relationship. And it pisses you off because you're like, well, I'm so much deeper than that. I have so much more to offer than that. But it's kind of like, you tend to, like the emotions for you are on the surface. And also when you're pissed off, like nobody better cross your path. When you're pissed off, when you're annoyed, and when you want to be, you can be the life of the party. Only when you want to be, when you're in that mood. Okay. Strong Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energies coming through. You find it sometimes difficult to understand certain people because your mind works faster, your mind works in a very interesting way. And sometimes you get into this energy where it's easier for you to do something by yourself, and you get pissed off with people when they're a little bit slower to catch up. You get pissed off because you can see people that are slacking off. I'm definitely seeing something that has to do with being a hard worker over here, and you hold others to the same standard. For some of you, you're divorced. For some of you, you're newly-ish separated, even if you weren't married. Yeah, they're telling me that something came crashing down over here. You might be still, they're showing me there's still a lot of hurt that's coming from the past. Somebody tried to control you. Somebody tried to maybe even manipulate you over here, but they didn't know who they were messing with. Nevertheless, they didn't achieve it, but it still hurt you. You saw somebody for maybe the potential that they had when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships, but then the reality hit you and you were like, oh my God, this is not what I thought it was going to be. But you guys are very, very strong. Very strong. Strong character, strong understanding of what it is that you want. Feisty, opinionated. You know what you want. High standards. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like you, my darlings. Keep on watching. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. The first impressions. As usual, try not to think of anything or anyone at this particular moment. Let the candle do all the talking right now. The first impressions. I'm getting the energy nice, calm, cool, collected. So you're going to be a little bit on an excited side, on a little bit, maybe a little crazy, yeah, when you meet your future spouse. And this is quite interesting because they're literally showing me that your future spouse is cool, calm, collected, chill. It's going to be a nice balance, a very nice balance. The meeting, they're showing me it's in a place that also has an air of serenity to it. Showing me nature, they're showing me things that like nicely trimmed bushes, something that has to do with, honestly, darlings, they're showing me a place that I would call a beautiful garden. And it might have some sort of fountain in it, flowers, everything. Look, we literally have this smile that's coming through. It's a very, it's interesting because I'm trying to read your energy and I'm trying to read your future spouse's energy, and you're smiling. You're smiling, you're excited, you're happy, you're full of life, I want to say over here. You might be influenced by the weather, by the music, by the people that are around you, but you're in a good mood over here. So back to the description, they're showing me some sort of garden, and it has most likely a round fountain or pond, very serene. You're excited, you're giggly, you're talking a lot. This is what they're telling me. Your future spouse is smiling, listening, nodding, checking you out from head to toe, but in a very respectful way, of course, and smiling. It's like this sweet energy of enjoying your company. And you're saying something, you're explaining, you're laughing, you're pointing at something. Oh, what happened? And then they're telling me someone calls you, someone distracts you, and you walk away. Interesting. The candle went out. They're showing me the end of the connection, physical connection. Show me what happens next. They're telling me somebody will need you urgently, or it's like you can't wait. And then they're showing me that you're coming out and your future spouse is no longer there. And you're like, oh, okay. What was that? And then your future spouse reappears. This is amazing. It's as if your future spouse knows that you're meant to meet. And your future spouse is going to hold so much space for you, for your big personality, for your emotions, for the changes in your emotions, for the changes in your mood. Your future spouse just knows. And you sometimes you guys can be very easily distracted. I'll take a look at your first impressions in a minute. But it seems very, when there's no, give me a second. You're not putting a lot of importance on that meeting. It just kind of comes and goes to you, but your future spouse holds space, and your future spouse kind of understands. He's like, I know the type, and I can handle it. Because let's be honest with you, my darling, sometimes we're hard to handle, yeah? When the emotions are over the top, when, it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that it takes a certain person to be able to handle it properly. Not just handle it, but handle it properly. Know when to listen, know when to say something, know when to calm you down, know when to support you. And this is exactly what's going to happen with your future spouse. They will study you. They will study you like a book. But the energy is incredibly serene. It's incredibly calm. I'm sorry about the outside noise, you guys, but it is what it is. They don't stop for days and days now. And I really wanted to do this reading. So this person holds space for you. Let me see what else. Okay, let's talk about your first impressions then. Let me see. Yeah, you're like, have a chat, walk away, have a chat, walk away. You might be explaining something, or you might be explaining something to a few people and somebody else is present there and somebody asks you a question and you become distracted. So I'm not seeing the initial conversation being like, a date, being something romantic. No. It could even be that you're explaining something, that you're excited about something, that you're trying to get other people excited about something. So when you meet your future spouse, it's quite interesting. You kind of notice them, but they're showing me like, a face in the crowd, so to speak. A face in the crowd, okay. Then it makes more sense. While you're more like on the talkative side, while you're explaining something to him or her and to other people. And your future spouse, yeah, a face in the crowd. It doesn't have to be a big crowd. But you notice, but it doesn't really register, if that makes sense, because there was no kind of direct interaction. For some of you, no, it doesn't happen online. No, I was going to say for some of you, it could be happening online. Well, maybe for the 1% of you. But still, for the majority of you, they're showing me these nice surroundings. It could be some sort of event, a reception, or just, a nice garden. And you're there with friends. Okay, so then what happens next, show me? Then this is why the candle went out previously. What happens next? And then it's a slow-moving energy, because your future spouse waits for you to finish doing whatever it is that you were doing, talking to whomever it is that you were talking. Your future spouse is incredibly patient. Like if they were giving out medals for patience, your future spouse would have quite a few. Very patient. If you choose to have kids together, this person is going to be fantastic. when it comes to raising them, when it comes to teaching them. And you will see this as well, because when you speak the next time, you'll be like, oh, you're still here, so to speak. And you'll be like, okay, well, this person must really be interested, because by the time you speak again on the day that you meet, a lot of people would have left. I'll try to get rid of that noise in editing, guys, as much as possible, but I don't want to stop now. It seems like we have such a nice flowy energy. So when you speak again, you'll be like, yeah, this person is patient. And then you start looking at them more closely. Show me what you think. Show me what you experience. Here you're thinking, okay, show me what you're coming to me with. You're a little bit tired by the time you talk for the second time. So you're not as talkative, or you're going to think, oh my God, what a nice voice. The voice and the smoothness, it's like velvet. You love the voice straight away. And then they're showing me you kind of tilting your head to the side. And then you stop listening and you start wondering about something else. And then you get back to the reality and you're like, oh my God, what was he saying or she? So you're being very distracted on the day that you meet your future spouse. Like your mind is all over the place. You have a lot of things to do. You have a lot of things to consider. But you're liking the voice. What about the looks? Show me. You liking the looks? Yeah, they're telling me they have a nice body. A nice body. It might not be necessarily visible because the person might be wearing loose clothing or something like this, but overall, the frame, the size, the shape you like. Letter L is coming through. Your future spouse is going to be much more attracted to you at the beginning than you are to them. I'm going to be honest, guys. Because, I mean, you're kind of looking at them with interest and kind of saying in your head, okay, show me what you got. Because you're trying to understand whether this person is interested in you romantically, or they want to talk about some sort of business, or what is this? Is this some sort of scammer? You know, like what's going on? So you're being a little bit cautious, and also you have 1,001 thing on your head, on your mind. The lips. Your future spouse is going to absolutely love your lips, love your mouth, the shape of your lips, maybe if you're going to be wearing some sort of lipstick or lip gloss, they're definitely showing something that attracts attention. And your future spouse over here, they're not giving up. Their mind is working overtime, trying to come up with things to ask you about, to find a way to communicate with you for longer, to get you engaged in a conversation. Your future spouse will know. Don't ask me how. Maybe they got a reading, maybe they're strongly intuitive, maybe they saw a dream about you, but they will know that you are somebody important. You're more like, yeah, whatever, let's see. You can all talk, let's see you walk the walk. But the thing is, of course, this is your future spouse, they are going to walk the walk. They're not just going to talk the talk, although you will really enjoy listening to them. Just on a side note, in the future, I see this person reading books, either to you or to your children, or telling some sort of stories. They're showing me a beautiful image, of like people next to a fireplace or next to a fire. And there's a lot of conversations, stories being shared. By the way, your future spouse might really like grilling things, doing barbecues. Okay, show me more about the first impression. So I'll tell you this, my darlings. You're not going to be, well, I'm saying that, you guys who are watching this, you're not easily impressed anyways. You're sometimes easily excited, but I don't see you being easily impressed. And here, when you meet your future spouse, you're intrigued, you're interested, but you're not impressed. It's kind of like you're giving them a chance. But then afterwards, they're telling me, throughout your relationship, oh my God, do you become impressed? Oh my God, does this person show you with actions mostly how good they are? For you, yeah? Not for everybody, but for you. How well you match together. So you have a lot of this fiery energy. They have a lot of grounding and water energy, mostly grounding. And like I said, they hold space for you to be you. So you don't have to pretend, you don't have to hold yourself back, well, maybe a little bit, but, still. Because my darlings, sometimes we can get a little bit loco, a little bit crazy, and that's normal. The hair, the smell. The thing is, your future spouse is going to be impressed. It's hard to put it in words, but what I'm hearing is like, finally, we meet. And now on to the next stage of making you feel good, of making you feel comfortable, of giving you time and space. Because here, what I'm seeing, you will not want to rush into anything. Not at all. And here, this is where the patience of your future spouse comes in very handy. Because they're going to take it step by step, slowly. Also, just on a side note, there we go. You might be getting cold feet. Interesting. Interesting, my darlings. It feels like you've been dealing with something difficult for so long that when the good thing comes along, you might be going into this energy of hiding, going into this energy of trying to sabotage this relationship, self-sabotage. Pay attention to that. Pay a very strong attention that your fears and the trauma response doesn't get in the way. Because yes, your future spouse is patient, but this is the person whom you're going to love very much. You wouldn't want them to feel uncomfortable or to feel bad or to feel rejected. They're very strong. They will understand where you're coming from. You will also kind of explain it to them in one way or another. But they will also, of course, want respect, and they want communication, and they want some sort of clarity on what is going on. But when they see you, oh my God, they will just know. It's hard to explain. Their first impression is finally. Finally, I'm impressed. This smile. Say, I'll do whatever it takes to make you smile. Another interesting thing that's coming through over here, guys, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm seeing a tree over here, and they're telling me that you will remind them of a particular fruit, you know? I will explain. Hold on. I'm just trying to like translate the energies into words and then into something that's going to sound remotely like it's making sense. But you know, you've got sometimes something that looks very nice and juicy, and then you bite into it, and it's not necessarily sweet, but it's a little bit sour and a little bit sweet. And then it's like soft, and I can't really explain, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. That this person will compare you to some sort of fruit or some sort of berry, like a nice juicy strawberry. You might also be wearing the colors that represent or that remind him or her of a particular fruit or a berry. For some of you, you might be wearing red and white. Red and white, red and green, something colorful. You might be wearing, if we're talking about a woman, you might be wearing a dress with like lemons or oranges on it. You know, like a nice summer dress. So they're telling me that your future spouse is going to think that you're very perceptive. There's something that you're going to notice, even though your head is going to be somewhere in the clouds half of the time. So you're still going to notice certain things that a lot of people don't. And you might ask him or her about this, and they'll be like, oh, interesting. A lot of people don't notice, a lot of people don't know what it means. They might have some sort of, maybe a tattoo, maybe an amulet, maybe a certain watch, that not a lot of people know about this brand or this model. But you will feel at peace. This is interesting. The more you talk to this person, the more at peace you feel. But my darlings, the candle keeps on doing its thing. And it's where they're saying you might think at one point or another that this person is boring. Yeah, because you're usually used to reaction, like a different reaction. But this person is just calm, cool, calm, and collected. They're not boring whatsoever. And maybe you've been wanting somebody to match that energy that you have. And your spiritual team is coming through and saying, listen, if you put fire and fire together, in certain ways it might work, but in the majority of way, you need somebody who balances out your energy. Because fire and fire, you're going to burn the whole thing down. But it's like you guys, it's like fire and a fireman. Who knows how to handle you and has a first aid kit for your broken heart. Okay. Now, for the majority of you, your future spouse, if we're talking about a man, is going to be bigger. There's this energy of somebody being taller, bigger. So I'm not seeing a skinny person. I'm not seeing a skinny person. And there's something about their laugh. This is going to be funny, guys. But listen, it might remind you of some sort of noise a certain animal makes, yeah? Because literally here I'm seeing a rooster, and I know that's not sexy, I know that's not maybe attractive for some of you, but it's going to make you laugh. Yeah, it's literally is going to make you laugh, and then you're not going to pay too much attention to it. But it's very interesting. You know, some of us we laugh, and it's like it's a seal dying, you know, or it's like a seagull looking for food. Some of us we have this laugh, and yes, we try to control it. Yes, we try to, you know, maybe not attract the attention and public by laughing like this. But there's something about your future spouse's laugh that's very funny. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I'm going to say this again. Your future spouse's family will really like you. There's this energy of things going smoothly, of two people becoming one, and the family really loves you. Another thing that's coming through, guys, if you like strong legs, you're in luck because your future spouse has strong legs. Nice, strong, toned legs. So definitely not missing the leg day at the gym. Yeah? Also, they're telling me that there's going to be an instance when you first meet, because they're showing me this beautiful energy of protection. And it feels like your future spouse is going to protect you from some sort of bug or from something that's coming towards you. You know, it's nothing serious, but it's going to be very sweet. And your first impression will be like, okay, well, that's nice. You know, the person pays attention to the surroundings. For some of you, it could be that you're walking somewhere, you know, and you're not looking where you're walking, and they just kind of gently nudge you away from a lamppost or something, you know, that you would have bumped into. No, later on, when you're going to be discovering this person, they're not boring at all, whatsoever. Just on a side note, over here, if you guys love dolphins or whales, they're giving me this energy of, and you know, if it was your dream, maybe to go and see them. Oh, it became very dark suddenly. You're going to go ahead and do it. Like it might be one of the anniversary surprises, one of the anniversary gifts. So you're going to go and see the dolphins. You're going to maybe even swim with the dolphins if this is what you wanted to do. See the whales, but it's something very nice and very monumental and very important to you that's coming through.